because the whole world's just a mess. They just put water in your Cheerios. What's your name? Who you holding on to you never forgave? That depression and oppression, it don't have to stay. Because God got down off of that throne and onto that cross, stretched his arms out wide and said, for you I'm doing this. It is finished. You don't have to be depressed. You don't have to be oppressed. You don't have to be poor. You don't have to keep generational curses. You can destroy those. But all you got to do is realize that you got the same power on the inside of you. That power that raised Jesus from the dead lives on the inside of you. The devil's got you thinking you nobody. He's got you thinking your voice don't matter. That ex told you you would have never, nobody will ever love you. And instead of saying good, if he's like you, instead we said, really? Maybe I'll just stay with him then. Let him beat the tar out of me every day. Because women are ride or die partners. We will ride and die with you all day long and let you beat the mess out of us. And honey, we will absolutely do every single thing that we said we'd never do. I used to tell people, if a man ever hits me, I'm taking a frying pan over his head. When it happened, I didn't take no frying pan over nothing. Because my self-esteem was so bashed and so broken down. Because that's what the enemy does. When he sees a crack in your foundation, he's going to absolutely rain on your parade. And until you learn how to dance in those puddles and get your big girl panties up and decide I'm moving forward, I am getting out of this place of paralyzation, you ain't going nowhere. We'll spend $200 a month on therapy. I'll never forget one time I went to therapy for addicts. I was trying to be that wife. Remember, I was ride or die. I don't know what was going to help me sit in that addict therapist. She didn't know what I was living in. And I remember thinking, this is $200. You going to tell me what I'm supposed to do? I needed somebody to help me resurrect. And she just went, Well, how did that make you feel? I'm like, $200. Give me an answer. What did that do to your insides? It hurt. And I remember thinking, when I left, I felt ripped off. And I was like, people do this all the time. That night I went home and I was like, God, take this pain away from me. I was laying in a fetal position. Man, I lost everything. I lost a $400,000 house. I lost Mercedes. I lost everything. Because boy, did I ever prove that I could do it. Miserable. Because money don't do nothing for you if you got Jesus. Money don't bring you joy. Now I give everything away. I'm like, oh, you like that? You can have it. I used to worship symbols instead of worshiping God. I had a lane in my soul that was so big that as I was laying there in that fetal position, God, take this pain away from me. God spoke to me clearer than I've ever heard him in my entire life. He said, girlfriend, I can't take it away from you. You gotta give it. Because pain don't leave until you get up and walk away. Until you realize the rejection was not necessarily someone wanting out of your life, but it was somebody that God needed out of your future, you ain't never going to move forward. God needs you to get unstuck. The gate's called beautiful, and every day this man didn't have an injury because somebody walked out on him. He didn't have an injury because his ex left him there. He didn't have an injury because he had unforgiveness in his heart. He didn't walk around. I mean, you can look as beautiful as all get out and be a mess on the inside of you because you're holding on to everything that they did wrong to you, thinking if you let it go, it's pardoning their sin. But instead, you're nailing yourself to your own cross. Jesus. Every day they lay this man there. Because that's what Christians do. we come into church. This place right here, this building is so beautiful. And God created it with an atmosphere of healing in this place. But we've gotten away from that. We've gotten lost into who's here. What does she have on? Is that red bottoms? Man, she got a good wig. She must have come into a good man. Her hair looks real. She got a boob job. That when we get into the presence of God, somebody walks up to us and says, how you doing? Wow! Blessed and highly favored. You cried yourself to sleep so hard last night it ain't even funny. But because we care more about what people think about us, then we keep walking into this place every single day that the doors are open, walking in with our head held high like a Stepford housewife, like everything's all right. When you a mess. And I'll never forget. Beautifully broken is where God does his best work. Because I'm going to tell you what he does. When you start praying about it more than you talk about it, you're about to get some deliverance in your life. When you get desperate enough for God, that you realize that you got to be broken in order to shine. God already knew you were going to be broken, but where he's taken you, he needed to break you wide open. He needed to get you free from that man. He knew after 2 times you weren't going to leave. That girlfriend that every time you walk into her presence, your heart's palpitating because you spent all this time trying to look good so that she would say, girl, that outfit's so fly, girl, you got it going on. And when you walked into her presence, instead she went, because the enemy's gonna keep doing it. The enemy's gonna keep opening those doors until you finally say, I'm addressing this mess. I'm not gonna be codependent on this pain another day in my life. I live my life, guys. I'm sure I deserved my divorce because I was a broke down mess. I was so broke down that I was that girl. God done healed me in this, so I'm not going to be able to do it real good, but I used to have it down. But you ain't going to mess with me. I don't need no man. He can walk out if he wants to walk out. Every time you hear a woman saying that, it's because she's scared to death ain't no man would ever love her appropriately. Because God created man and woman. He said 2's better than 1. Now there's some of you that say, I don't want to get married. That's fine. But don't walk around saying, I don't need no man. Just don't. Because I was that. I'm going to tell you something. Hurt people, but heal people, heal people. And baby, God might have healed me from my toes to the top of my head. But I still recognize it. I'm gonna love you right on through this, but we gonna get out of this. I didn't go through my hell for you to stay in your mess. I didn't go through my hell for you to keep that neck rolled down. I did not go through my hell for you to stay bound in this mess another day of your life, needing medicine to get up and needing medicine to go to bed because you couldn't quiet those chatterbox voices going on the inside of you. Tonight, we are saying enough is enough. I'm coming back to take my stuff. One day, Peter and John walked up to that gate. They saw that man laying there. They're like, what's wrong with him? I said, we don't pray even in church hardly anymore because all of a sudden I will pray for sick because I'm going to tell you something. My God says that I am more than enough. I'm exceedingly abundantly above all that you could ever ask or think. And we got God in this box about this big. We just see ourselves barely making it. If we can just pay those bills every month and we start rejoicing because we got $10 left in that account. And God's going, hello. Above all that you can ask or think. I have in store for you. But I need you to get unstuck from that small way of thinking. I need you to dismiss yourself from people that keep putting water on your dreams, telling you you'll never amount to nothing, telling you nobody will ever love you, telling you your kids will be trifling till you die. Dismiss. Because here's what God does when you finally shake it out. It's like that lame man. They told this man. They didn't go to God. This is what we do. We act like God is poor, pitiful God. He don't understand. So we get down every day of our lives and say, Lord, please help my babies. Lord, I pray right now you make my husband not sleep tonight till he gets a clue, Father. Lord, I pray right now you just make that woman have bad breath. I'm telling you, Lord, now. And God's up in heaven saying, I know. Lord, the doctors gave me a bad report and I need you to heal me. He's like, I know they did. I'm God. But words have power. So the minute you start charging your situation, Peter and John looked at him and said, rise and walk. They commanded him to get up out of that situation. They commanded him to get free. The minute you learn, I'm telling you something, I had a limit for a car after my divorce because that's the way it rolls. You know, once you lose all the fine things doing what God's told you to do, because that's usually the way it rolls. I gave everything up because I needed healing. I made a commitment. 1 ounce of obedience is going to do more for me than all the prayer in the world. I am getting myself unstuck. I am going to help God help me. I am going to start all over again in a room that is the size of my closet. I'm going to do this because now is better than later. Because if I face it head on, that past can't keep chasing me. If I just stare it right in the eyes and say, oh no, you aren't going to stay connected to me another day in my life. I'm breaking up with you. I am divorcing you. I am divorcing worry and fear. I am divorcing my past. I will not live there another day of my life. They commanded him to get up. All of a sudden he's like, that's all nice and stuff, but I still can't walk. They didn't put coins in his bucket. You know how those people do? Be very careful for the people that enable your dysfunction. They're parasites. They don't want to see you free. They don't want to see you free from that mess. Because if you get free, they ain't going to have nothing to do. They will label you and leave you there. They will say, you dropped out of school? Oh, you'll never amount to nothing. When God says that you are going to be the front of the line and not the back of the line. You're going to be a lender and not a borrower. He says that you got promises or yes and amen. And it don't matter if you dropped out of school in 8th grade. It don't matter what the doctor said about you. It don't matter if they saw mass in your breast. What does God say about you? You shall live and not die. Yes, Lord. It doesn't matter if you're in your 4th marriage. Sometimes it takes some of us more than once. Some of us are so broken that we get into these relationships and they break apart. And then you got people judging you, telling you, she's divorced. Don't you know she's divorced? She can't preach. She's divorced. Well, I'm proof you can preach. I'm proof that it takes sometimes longer for some of us. But here's the key. Don't repeat it. Don't jump back into something when you know you need to put a do not disturb up on your heart. Anybody that's telling you just lay there, baby, just waller in that depression. Oh, you need me to come over and cook for you? Okay. Sweet poor little thing, you'll never get out of this. Yeah, so broken. You're so broken. That old mean man, he shouldn't have done that to you. Jerk. Them people need to be escorted to that balcony because they're enabling your dysfunction. They're parasites on your pain. when I got free. And listen, don't get mad when you finally get a revelation. I see some of you there go, dang, yeah. Don't get mad. You gotta keep that heart right. Because heart matters. Bad heart, it'll make you need Botox. Because you walk around snarling all the time. It'll give you pride. But I'm about to flip this thing around because we're going to pray.